Yesterday on this.
Okay. I'm assuming it's a guy. I don't know.
Sir, did you do it?
No, I didn't.
Do you have anything to say?
I have plenty to say.
Did you kill your wife?
I'm going to kill my wife.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I'm Lieutenant Darrell Dix from the Griffin Police Department. And the reason we're here this morning is the Griffin Police Department, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, District Attorney's Office of the Griffin Judicial Circuit would like to make an announcement that we have made an arrest in an unsolved 1994 cold case homicide. And if you look at your media release that I have in front of you, I pretty much have the details of what happened. I'll go over this briefly. June 4th, 1994, the bodies of Peggy Stanford and Philip Leaks were discovered in Leaks' home, located at 1341 Boyd's Road, which is now D.F. Fuller Drive. The call originally came out as a disturbance. Upon arrival, the officers found that both victims had been murdered. They had been stabbed to death. It was also determined that there had been some type of confrontation in the residence before the officers arrived. The initial responding officer, who was Homer Daniels, who is now a major with the Griffin Police Department, contacted the Georgia Bureau of Investigation for assistance with processing and photographing the crime scene. Crime scene investigator Lanny Cox of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation responded. I saw Lanny a while ago. He's not in here with us right now. Lanny processed the crime scene that night, photographed it, gathered evidence. And by the way, Lanny is still working with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation as well. On June 7, 1994, Larry Stanford was arrested and charged with the murders of his wife Peggy Stanford, Philip Leaks, and also the burglary of the residence. On June 24, 1994, a preliminary hearing was conducted in the Spalding County Magistrate Court. Due to evidence still being processed by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation Crime Lab, the hearing was continued. On June 27, 1994, the hearing was reconvened. After arguments and testimony, it was determined there was not enough evidence against Stanford to continue the trial. All charges were dropped and Stanford was released at the time. The case remained open, however, no new leads, information, or evidence was uncovered to assist in solving the crime. In April of 2013, Lieutenant Sam Parks and investigator Mike Morris of the Griffin Police Department received information that led to the review of the unsolved murders. After consulting with Griffin Judicial Circuit Chief Assistant District Attorney Randy Coggy, the investigators believed that they could finally solve the 20-year-old cold case homicide. The investigators contacted the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and Special Agent Robert Devane was assigned to work with them on the new leads in the Stanford and Leaks murders. During the following 9 months, the investigators re-interviewed witnesses, gathered statements from newly discovered witnesses that further shed light on the crime. In January of 2014, after the investigators met with the District Attorney's Office again, it was determined that enough evidence had been gathered to seek new arrest warrants on Larry Stanford for the murders of Peggy Stanford and Philip Leaks. On February 3rd, 2014, at approximately 11:30 a.m., officers of the Griffin Police Department, Criminal Investigation Division, and agents of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation arrested Larry Stanford at his residence located at 530 East Tinsley Street here in Griffin. A search warrant was obtained for the crime for the residence, and the search was conducted by investigators. Currently, Larry Stanford has been charged with 2 counts of malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and 1 count of burglary as a result of the 1994 slayings. Stanford is currently being interviewed at the Griffin Police Department headquarters and will be transported to the Spalding County Detention Center shortly. Evidence that was originally gathered at the 1994 crime scene was maintained by the Griffin Police Department and has been resubmitted to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation for re-examination due to the advances in forensics that have occurred since the original crime in 1994. We ask if you have any further information regarding this investigation to contact Lieutenant Sam Parks or Investigator Mike Morris of the Griffin Police Department, 770-229-6450. And this arrest would not have been possible without the cooperative efforts and resolve of the investigators and agents of the Griffin Police Department, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and District Attorney Scott Ballard's office. We also ask if you have any information regarding unsolved murders in your area, regardless of how long ago they occurred, and even if you believe that the information you have may be minor or insignificant, we ask you to contact your local law enforcement agencies with that information. You may hold the key to solving those crimes. Your information will ensure that the victims receive the justice that they deserve, and it will provide closure to their families and to their communities. As somebody told me yesterday, it is completely possible to have the long arm of the law reach back 20 years into the past and grab somebody and bring them here and prosecute them now. So we ask for your cooperation in any of these investigations that are ongoing. Any questions?
Can
I
you
have a
talk about
question.
the evidence that was looked at again through the GBI, what it was and what came out through that investigation?
Essentially, we were really looking at what we had, and an individual came forward who was able to shed some light on the subject. We let him, we talked with him. He led to more information. We tracked down old witnesses who had interviewed in the past and re-interviewed them and found out some more information. It was basically just through the hard work of Investigator Morris and Devane, Daryl Dix, that we were able to track these folks down and get the information from witnesses we had developed in the past, but they were able to track down. Just their hard work was what brought it to where we are now.
So
Of course, every
physical
case is
evidence?
important. Every case is important. But to be able to say that you've solved this case after so many years, how significant is that for this department?
I think it's very significant. I think
Sir,
that
if you
it
could
shows-
step to the mic, please. Thank you.
I think it's very significant. I think that it shows the tenacity of the officers that work here, the tenacity of the investigators, the tenacity of the District Attorney's Office and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. And we are lucky enough right now that even 20 years after this occurred, we have representatives from the Leaks family, from the Stanford family that are with us this morning. They have had some people that are in their families that have since passed away, and we are proud that they are here and able, to be here to see that this day, to see that there is some justice that is finally going to come because of their loss.
How was his reaction when he was first approached and this was going to be brought back?
Mr. Minor, Mike.
He was put up no fight. He was mild and
Was he shocked that this was coming back to haunt him?
yes, he was, but he did not resist.
You said he was shocked in what way, what happened?
He was surprised that after 20 years, he was being talked to about the case.
Can someone talk more about what was key in putting it together the second time around? What was that tip or what was that bit of information that you got through witnesses?
And by the way, this is Randy Coggin, Chief Assistant District Attorney.
I don't really want to get into the evidence specifically at this point. Don't want to try it here at the media. But we had a witness who had been an individual who had known this defendant at that time, who came back and was able to talk with him and get us some information, which led us, he led us from one thing to another, and tracked down some witnesses who no longer live here, but were instrumental in giving us information we needed to go forward. So, yeah, that's vague, I understand, but I don't want to give too much detail at this point.
Someone who couldn't keep a secret any longer, had to get it off his chest, or was it more just
No,
that?
not. It was just an individual who had some contact and had some information, a relationship with the defendant who was able to utilize that relationship to develop some information for us, other information, which these guys didn't track down as far as it's in Alabama, I think. Tracked one down to Alabama and talked with her, re-interviewed some people, and just legwork, just hard, just basic hard police work. They did a great job, but I can't say enough about the job they did on this.
Can someone talk more about the alleged motives of this case?
I don't know. I think there were the defendant was married to one of the victims. She was with another individual, that may have been part of it. There may have been some money issues involved, a lot of things played a part. And I don't know if there's any prime reason, but that was some. And of course, in Georgia, motive's not part of it, you're not putting motive's part of it, it's not an element. Yes, sir.
Did this guy have an occupation, the suspect? Is he retired or?
He was in construction, I think, I'm not real sure what else he did. His odd jobs, construction work.
Does it have any priors with Griffin Police? Has he had any other run-ins with law enforcement?
We shouldn't talk about his criminal history.
Can we have a family member speak, just respond to this coming after so many years? Maybe a representative from each family, if you feel comfortable? Come to the mic, please. Thank you. And if you could just.
Introduce yourself for me.
All right. My name is Angela Fletcher. I'm Peggy Stanford's sister, and I just glad just to have been served for my sister. I've been praying for this day. And I thank them for taking care of it. It's been a long time, but just to have been served. I just want to thank you.
And from this family, do y'all have someone that would like to speak? Not at this time.
For the outcome, see what happens.
Often forgotten in the criminal justice system are the victims of crime, and when it's a murder, of course, the families of the victims. And they never really heal. But there are stages of healing that take place, and to some extent what we've done here is we've ripped the scabs off of wounds that are trying to heal. I don't think they have any regrets whatsoever that we're doing that, because now they can move, when this matter has finally found justice, to whatever the next stage of healing is, and it's just wonderful to give them that opportunity. I think the people of this area should be very proud of their law enforcement for their never say die attitude, and we'll look forward to seeing this thing properly resolved in the courts.
Excuse me, I would like to say something.
Sure. And tell them who you are, if you will, please.
My name is Donnie Parsons. I'm the victim brother-in-law. This is his sister, Dale. I want to commend the Griffin Police Department for such a great, outstanding job, because this has been 20 years. 20 years of suffering, 20 years of don't know. Not only this case, I want to congratulate Griffin Police Department for every case, because they worked intensely to get the job done. And after such a long time, it's proven in itself today. They never stop. Thank you, Griffin. Thank y'all.
Yes.
The DA's here, right?
Yes.
How are you going to approach this case? Is this going to be a capital case, or what are you going to see?
Well, it's too early to make that call. When you're deciding whether to seek the death penalty, there are a lot of factors that have to be considered, and only a handful are going to qualify. We'll look at it. Right now, we're just proud to have the arrest. Now we begin the process of evaluating the evidence and trying to determine the proper course of action.
All right, with this case, how do you feel going into a grand jury?
Very confident. I'm very confident about going to the grand jury. Yes, sir.
I would just have a direct question to the two families. Were y'all surprised at the arrest of who it was?
No, I felt that he did, but we just didn't have no evidence like they say so.